Imagine it's Christmas Day, 1999. Toy Story 2, the long-awaited sequel to a beloved family film, just released in theaters that past November, and you've been excited ever since. You have the toys, the Woody doll with the flappy arms and the funny plastic head, the Buzz Lightyear with the pop-out wings that never stay fully extended, but what you don't have, what you don't expect, what you couldn't even dream, is the Toy Story 2 video game for PlayStation and Nintendo 64, and later PC and Dreamcast. You're gonna be so disappointed. Toy Story 2 Action Game, or its slightly more creative title, Toy Story 2 Buzz Lightyear to the Rescue, first released November 30th, 1999, hardly a week after the movie hit theaters. It's a 3D platformer, set up Mario 64 style, with 10 levels and 5 bosses, each level home to 5 objectives you must complete to claim your prizes. Pizza. Planet tokens. Not unlike Super Mario 64's star system, each level's 5 objectives are independent of each other, and you're free to leave a level after completing even just one. Unlike in Super Mario 64, however, you can expect each level to have roughly the same objectives every time. There will always be a token for collecting 50 coins, and turning them over to Ham, the piggy bank. There will always be some sort of collectible that there will be 5 of, whether it's Bo Peep's Lost Sheep or a collection of Little Tykes. Are these things even sold anymore? Seriously, are these still made? Anyway, there will always be some sort of race, usually against first name RC, last name Car. There will be exactly one unique hidden Pizza Planet token, and lastly, there will be a boss. These Pizza Planet tokens are, of course, invaluable in helping Buzz in his quest to save Woody from the fate that befell him in the movie. They're definitely not just there to prevent you from progressing to the next level if you don't have enough, and we definitely shouldn't think about the fact that Pizza Planet doesn't even show up in Toy Story 2, unless you want to count the time that a bunch of the toys committed Grand Theft Auto. Oof. By the way, this game doesn't have its own story. You're provided cutscenes between levels in the form of highly compressed, vaguely relevant scenes from the movie, but none of the in-game characters will acknowledge these events. Also, the movie files don't run on modern computers, no matter how hard I patch the game, so I don't even get the joy of watching the movie. That's unfair. Aside from the tokens, Buzz's combat arsenal includes the ability to jump, double jump, shoot his laser, and spin. Shooting and spinning are his 2 attack moves, one more valuable than the other, and both can be charged up to, in one case, do more damage, and in another case, render Buzz very dizzy. Buzz also has a stomp, mainly used to activate levers as well as catapults, and a look/manual aim function, which enables you to look at Buzz's 1999 face texture in a larger size than you may have ever wanted. I'm not going to get into the power-ups yet, but suffice it to say that Buzz is a very well-equipped little toy. The trouble with this game is, well, the problem is, you see, what's wrong? It's just not very good. Buzz Lightyear to the Rescue tries to implement the sort of challenging, satisfying platforming that you'd expect from a 3D platformer, but it makes severe mistakes in how it executes it, not only in design, but at the technical ground floor. There's obviously the trouble of many enemies being placed on platforms far smaller than their knockback distance, which is a design problem. But more importantly than that, a lot of the platforming relies on Buzz being able to grab an edge, which he won't always do. This is especially true if the edge is in any way curved or stylized. In addition to this, a lot of the technical shortcuts made to, presumably, either make this game playable or just fit it on the disc, have not only made the game uglier, but also made it harder. Depth perception is the key problem here. The coins, which are supposed to guide the player's eye to important doors and platforms, are just 2D images, independent of their environment, which makes jumping to one almost a complete coin toss. They're not placed particularly well to begin with either, which is just insult to injury. It's not uncommon to just run under one because it somehow wasn't placed at Buzz's height, which is a level design no-no. But that's not the worst example of monocular vision. Horizontal bars, the kind designed for swinging around, usually add a nice bit of flair to a game like this, if you can grab them. You'll notice that the bars here, however, are elusive to say the least. Part of this is their size and positioning, but most of it is the lighting. With not so much as a drop shadow or a dark spot where the bars connect to the wall, they may as well be floating. Add this to the fact that the bars are rarely uniformly spaced, some requiring you to hold the jump button, others requiring a double jump, and some spaced so precisely that diverting even slightly off course will drop you, and these are an offense to gaming. But okay, so the platforming sucks, Buzz controls like a greased Beyblade, and that texture popping definitely isn't visually appealing. Is there anything good about this game? Well, back when I was sitting down to play this game at the beginning of the month, still under the illusion that it was good, here's what I remembered. I remembered that the game was long. It's not, really, not for myself today, but it felt like it when I was little. For better or for worse, it is a difficult game, sometimes tediously so, but when you're not looking to beat a game so much as suck every possible hour out of it, that's a big plus. I remembered bosses that scared the crap out of me, because I was a gosh darn coward. The bosses aren't complicated by any stretch, and some of them I don't even think were designed with the intention that you could dodge all of their attacks, of which they usually only have one. They're not appealing to fight, or even to look at, except maybe this guy. This guy's pretty good. This town ain't big enough for the two of us, but he's pretty good. And I remembered power-ups. Now, this is something that actually is kind of fun. There's one power-up that you can get for free in the form of the green laser, which is essentially a recklessly irresponsible rapid-fire attack that kills most enemies in one shot and lasts until you exhaust the gauge. It's basically cheating, and I'm fine with that. The other ones, however, require a little more work. In some levels, you'll find Mr. Potato Head, and in these levels, he will always have misplaced some vital body part. In exchange for fetching it for him, he'll unlock one of the game's power-ups for you, in the current level as well as in all other levels where it appears. Some of the power-ups are pretty boring, like the hover boots, which don't do much aside from let you watch Buzz flounder around. But then there's the grappling hook, arguably the coolest part of any game, despite how stiff and underutilized it is in this one. And the jet boots, which, while dangerous to control, are pretty rad, I'll admit. They also make traversing a level more fun, but like all the power-ups, you can only use them where they're already placed, and they don't last long. Because you have to unlock these power-ups, you'll find that some of the levels can't be fully completed the first time through, giving you reason to go back to them when they can be. This is fine in general, but annoying, however, when you realize that you have 3 out of 5 ducks and no way of getting the last 2 without a power-up that is locked toward the end of the game. Whoops, I was supposed to talk about the good things. Look at Woody's face! Isn't that charming? No, but really, when I was little, I thought this game was good. And now I know better. And now you know better too. And really, that just goes to show you. Adulthood is truly a prison. Thanks for watching, and Merry Christmas! This episode marks 1 full year of Nostalgia Trip. January to December, 12 episodes, always on time, except for that pesky February that had to go and have only 28 days. I might take a break in January for personal reasons, so if you want to tide yourself over, you can watch the rest of my Nostalgia Trips right here, and my reviews of newer games as well. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, and most importantly, Happy Gaming.